Today is the day. Jackson Hole is here. Jerome Powell, the master of money, is going to tell us what's going to happen. The most important Fed speech in your life since the last one and until the next one. Are you ready? My soul's prepared. I'm ready to be hurt. Hurt me again, Jerome. Giving up a tiny coffee prepared for the occasion. Let's go. So, we got a lot to talk about. We'll just dive straight into this. There's Jerome, the man himself. This picture was taken a few hours ago by some dude who spotted him at the airport in Jackson Hole. Does that look like a man who's about to cut interest rates? That looks like a man who's about to not cut interest rates. Look at that face. That guy's saying, screw everybody. I'm keeping the rates higher for longer, isn't he? Jerome. Hey, well, we got some dissent. Federal Reserve official Bullard says, I do think they will cut rates in September. There we go, guys. It's all good. We're going to get September rate cuts. We're all freaking out about nothing. Of course, you guys know how I feel. We can keep rates higher for longer. The dot-com bubble kept rates about 4% for the entire insanity of the bubble. But that's a different conversation for a different day, okay? Some jobless claims. I mean, this is going to add some weight to the potential for a cut. Jobless claims just dropped. Forecast 226,000, actual 235,000. Slightly hotter than expected. Equals signs that the labor market is softening even more. After yesterday's hawkish FOMC meeting minutes, this actually tilts bullish for risk assets because it increases the chance that we're going to get a cut. The labor market keeps weakening. This plus the big miss recently in jobs numbers all point towards everything's going to be fine. They're going to cut rates, add more fuel to the fire, and all of our risk assets are going to go to the effing moon. Fantastic. Fajao sharing this. Fed's Schmidt. The risks on inflation are higher relative to jobs. Crap. They're more worried about inflation from tariffs than they are about the jobs. Remember, the Fed has a dual mandate. Part of that dual mandate is to keep the jobs market okay and to keep inflation down. And they're more worried about inflation spiking than the job situation right now. Come on. What? Hammock. Fed member Hammock says she does not see a case for September rate cut after the recent data. Hammock. I always knew it was going to be this lady. Look at this. Look at this. Come on. Rate cut fading fast. Poly market adds odds for September, now just 61%. We went from 100% rate cut odds just 2 weeks ago. Slowly been dropping down. It was 90, then it was 80, then now, of course, we're at 61%. Yikes. Now, look, this is just the prediction markets. Prediction markets are very fickle, but maybe they're right. Maybe they are right. Remember, Morgan Stanley came out yesterday and said that Fed's not going to cut rates at all this year. Everybody stop thinking about it. Drury and Tim are weighing in. He said, with the Fed now fully expected to ease in September, a lot of people still thinking the Fed's going to cut. Some people thinking they're not. Anyway, the bigger news, to what extent Chair Powell's remaining months at the helm of the Fed might be overshadowed by the next chair and to what degree the directives might be at odds. At least for now, the main difference will presumably be speed and magnitude of rate cuts rather than direction of actual policy itself. Support for rate cuts seems to stem from weakness in the labor market, although from my non-economist angle, I don't see any. The JOLTS report, the weekly economic index, and jobless claims all points to an economy imbalance. From where I'm sitting, it suggests a neutral Fed policy, which in my view should be around 3.75%. And this is the problem, isn't it? Here we have Drury and Timmer weighing in, a macroeconomic thinker and analyst, and he's saying, jobs aren't really that bad. And if he's saying that, guess what the Fed's probably thinking? The job situation is probably not that bad. We're more worried about the potential massive spike in inflation from all this tariff nonsense, as is evidenced by the PPI, which had a massive overheat last month. So the Fed probably is going to be in a wait-and-see approach to see what the actual inflation numbers come in for CPI and PPI in September. So the August numbers, what those were. Crap. They may really not cut rates next month, guys. It'll be crazy stuff. Hey, Prophetic BTC with this one. Boring market. NASDAQ's on course for a 7th straight day of red closes in futures. Can it really do an 8th tomorrow? Feels like a cold spring waiting to pop. Everybody's waiting for Jerome Powell to not nuke everything. And if what Jerome Powell generally comes in with expectations where he says, we're still worried about tariffs. Yes, we're keeping an eye on the job market. Well, let's see about rates in September. Approximately. Market's going to love it, okay? If he comes out and says, we're never cutting rates ever again. In fact, we're going to raise them. markets are going to be a bad state. But I don't think he's going to do that. Why would he do that? That would be craziness. Okay, Jerome Powell's not an agent of chaos. He's just the director of the Fed. Okay, anyway. I think a lot of the market did a heavy de-risking into the Jackson Hole event, and now we'll see probably a lifting of the tide post Jackson Hole here. Moon Overlord posts this one. Moon do not like this. This is the monthly chart for Bitcoin USD. We have some pretty big fat top side candles there. Every time Bitcoin gets to 120K, everybody just smashes the sell button at the same time, apparently. Dream bigger, whales. Okay, dream bigger. Come on, this thing's going to $1 million. You're selling it all at 120K? Come on, guys, come on. Now, Bitcoin last night perfectly hit the previous level of price support at $112,000. Crazy. It dipped under $112,000 on a couple exchanges for a few minutes, but we came right back down to that perfect level for a potential double bottom scenario. Could we talk about that? Could we talk about a double bottom scenario? Maybe. We need the bulls to actually get their shit together here and to hold 112K as price support. Moving into the Jackson Hole meeting today, I think that's a logical place to look for a bounce. If bulls are going to do it, they're going to do it here. So risk reward right now on, for example, a Bitcoin trade is not actually terrible. If you take a long position from here, going back up to 120 or something like that, with a pretty easy invalidation stopping at like 111. Because if the bulls can't hold it here, they're in trouble, okay? And if we fail to hold 112, which is a critical area of price support, you can see it was price support here, and it's also the previous all-time high, which was resistance before, now flipping into support. We've done it once before. Can we do it twice? Well, markets are about to show us, okay? By the way, if you're trading these markets, guys, the BitUnix deal only lasts for a few more days. If you haven't hopped on it yet, now's your time. Link down below. Go check it out. No KYC, no VPN. You guys know it's no BS exchange where you can just go long the rips, short the dips, have a good time. When you use the link down below, you can get some insane deals, up to $400 in deposit bonus. Yes, that means you deposit $2,000 or more. They'll put $400 cash back in your account. Insane trading rewards. I mean, you can see the insane numbers on the screen here. Just crazy, crazy trading rewards. The more you trade, the more money they're going to put, again, straight back into your account. And you'll get VIP level 3 on a trial. So that's 30% fee discount. These are insane deals. A very limited time offer. Only lasts for a few more days. Link down below. Go check it out. Okay, so Crypto Kid. Horrible candle on last week's total chart. I agree. That weekly chart is not looking super hot. That is not the kind of candle you want to see. It's the kind of candle that tends to top out a run in the short term. Let's see how we go, though. Okay, that big fat wick just shows a lot of sellers stepped in, basically. Ethereum, very interesting spot here. Just bounced off the 20-day EMA as we discussed yesterday, but you can see the downtrend line here. Downtrend line held yesterday, currently holding today as well. Now, what's interesting is we have two very simple points to look at here. We break out of the downtrend line. ETH probably rallies back up at least to, let's say, $4,800 to retest the previous high. Then we all kind of start talking about a double top again and all that fun kind of stuff. Okay, that's easy. So we get a breakout here, let's say 43.50. Daily candle confirmed, long that up to $4,800. Let's see what happens. Alternatively, on the downside, you need to see this 20-day EMA hold. We have the support now at $4,080. That would be an interesting spot if you get a bounce from there. If we fail to hold that, the 50-day EMA in the lower band of this support area comes into play real quick. But again, the market, I think right now, after de-risking into Jackson Hole, will be looking for any sign of even a breath of non-hawkish behavior from Jerome Powell to give them a reason to pop the market back up, okay? Just want to take a quick moment to not pour my coffee out, but, metaphorically pour it out. Take a moment of silence for all the people who bought Kanye's scamcoin yesterday. That's good coffee. Very small coffee, but tasty one. Anyway, 56,050 wallets touched the token. 14,957 lost up to $500. 1,273 lost $500 to $1,000. 1,878 lost $1,000 to $5,000. 429 lost $5,000 to $10,000. 523 wallets lost $10,000 to $100,000. 64 wallets lost $100,000 to $1 million, and one person lost more than $1 million. Only 5 wallets made $1 million plus. Those are the insiders. Those are the people who were directly connected to Kanye, got the contract address from him beforehand. Whatever cabal scam fucks launched this thing were involved in that, shared the contract address out to their buddies. And somebody made a great comment yesterday. What a fascinating coincidence that the day after the scam cartel that launched the Litecoin got their $58 million unlocked from the courts, that for some reason they got their money back, that they got that $58 million unlocked, that the next day Kanye launches a coin that's a giant scam extraction event again. The good news is that this only ran up to $3 billion, okay? This was, people are to some extent learning, not these 56,000 people. Jesus, guys, stop buying these scammy celebrity coins. Kanye don't give a shit about you, doesn't give a shit about crypto. Dude's here to steal your money, okay? Go buy some Bitcoin. Jeez. Solana back to $183, sitting right here on the 20-day EMA. Very important levels right here. We got to see how it reacts. If we get some nice closes above the 20-day EMA, could be an interesting go-long situation there. 50-day EMA has been tested once as support, so let's see how the price reacts here over the next few days. If we can indeed continue to see a bit of price support at these key EMAs here and then bounce from there, it'd be nice to see. Solana, man, still feels so mispriced, honestly. You look at everything going on Solana. We have the digital asset treasury companies, more of them coming, rumored. We have the Solana ETF coming. It's got to come by the end of the year, right? Jeez. The fact that ETH's been kicking off so much. Solana still almost 50%, maybe it's about 40% right now under its previous all-time highs. That's crazy, man. I feel like Solana is majorly mispriced compared to Ethereum right now, especially considering all the economic activity that happens on Solana. Solana's going to go way higher, guys. Way higher. I feel like I might need to buy some more. XRP, not looking super hot at the moment for the XRP bulls. Now, 275 remains your key line in the sand down below here, okay? So if you watch that, if you're looking for a spot to put a limit bid order in, 275, that's your number right there, guys. Because right now we've lost the 20-day EMA, we've lost the 50-day EMA, both with underside retests that failed to retake those key EMAs, as you can see here and here. Okay, failed here, failed here. Price currently trading under the 50-day EMA. That's not really the definition of being mega bullish, okay? Not to say it can't bounce off 275. That would be the spot to look for. But if you are an XRP bull, you want to see the XRP bull community get their shit together, stop the bullshit, and get us back over the 50-day EMA, which currently is sitting at 295. So two spots for limit orders here. One at 275, betting on a bounce from previous support, okay? That is the bottom orange line right here, and that's the previous support over here. The second spot is looking for a breakout beyond 295. That's where the 50-day EMA is right now. You can put a trigger order there for that breakout catch, or a limit order down at 275 to catch a potential bounce, okay? Litecoin. Litecoin is the right coin, isn't it? Litecoin's going to get an ETF. Litecoin does have a treasury company. It's a very small market cap coin by comparison to the other coins, only $10 billion or so. So this stuff all becomes a little more impactful. However, Litecoin bulls, you need to get your shit together as well. Get us back above the 20-day EMA. So there's potential for a trigger order here as well at about 118. So that would be just above the 20-day EMA here. Or looking for a test down here at 111 at the 50-day EMA, okay? So we're kind of stuck between these two levels right now. Resolution of the range either way will let us know, of course, what's happening. Lose the 50-day EMA, and it's probably a shorting opportunity down lower, depending on, of course, how the broader market reacts in that scenario. Our buddy Pengu, the Penguin coin. We do love the Penguin coin, sitting right at the 50-day EMA right now after a major support retest at the low range yesterday, 2 days ago actually, at 2.8 cents. Okay, so I think this is going to follow risk-on attitudes with the rest of the market. If Bitcoin and Ethereum bounce from their key support levels right now where they are, based on any hint of dovishness from Jerome Powell, I think something like Pengu can rip right back up here and get back above the 20-day EMA pretty quickly. So these are things I'm watching for in the market right now. Thanks for watching. As always, I appreciate your time. I appreciate you coming to have a conversation with me, hang out, have some tiny coffees. maybe a few jokes along the way. You guys are awesome. I appreciate you. I'll see you back in the next one. Peace.